here, and we've got the names and basic starting skill options for all of them written down. We're trying to find out how to train people in all the different classes, but we need to know what each one offers so people can decide what they want, Marc said.
Sean chuckled. Well, all the ones I mentioned share a couple of skills. March and encamp. Even my Centurion class has those, although it's got a few other things as well that I'm unsure of.
I can guess what those do, Marc said. I assume that fortification you were in was the result of the encamp skill?
Sean nodded. The encampment goes up faster the more people with a skill working on it. With our group, it takes less than an hour to create, if we have all the wood ready beforehand. Makes something a temporary safe zone and lasts for a half hour per person involved with a skill.
And march, of course, is how you got back here so quickly on foot?
I don't call it that quickly, but yes. It ensures we can make 20 miles per day, even with wagons. We did have to have some of the auxiliaries ride the wagons to keep making that distance, but it worked. We also stopped at a couple of safe zones along the way, so we didn't always make that distance.
You said something about that, about them not being the same as ours, Marc asked.
Yeah, they were... Sean looked around. Nothing like this at all. Both of them consisted of a single structure, like a fort or something. The buildings were in good shape, but there wasn't a lot of surrounding area inside their walls. They had a well in each place, but nothing like your fields or ponds even. Never mind the rest of these buildings. There was one a little bigger, but it was damaged and looked abandoned, so we didn't stop there since it was the middle of the day when we saw it.
Huh. It sounds like they haven't expanded their safe zones at all. But even with a basic safe zone, we weren't that bad off. We had power and running water right from the start. I guess that's the difference between using a core versus a system token to create it?
Sean just looked confused until Marc explained.
There are two ways that you can form a safe zone. One of them involves using a monster core, and the other a system token. Cores are supposed to be more rare, although we have found a couple, but everyone gets a system token when they get a class. They get them for some other things as well, Marc said. We used a monster core to create our safe zone, then a second one so we could expand it further. The main bottleneck is materials at this point. The cores we used each support multiple expansions.
I think I understand what you're saying, Sean said, but I'll ask you to go into more detail on it later on, if you don't mind.
Marc nodded. Sure, but we probably ought to have you go through orientation with Al first. Everyone we brought in has done it. It will let you know what we know about the system and how to use it. I'm sure you've gotten some of that down yourself, and if you know something he doesn't mention, please let us know so we can spread the word.
Okay, then, we can do that. In the meanwhile, why don't you tell me what happened to you here? It looks like it wasn't uneventful, Sean said.
Marc took a deep breath and sighed. That's an understatement, Dad, Marc said. It all started with that screen. Marc went through telling his father about their training, clearing the high school, making the temporary safe zone, followed by the permanent one the day after. Sean interrupted at that point.
Before you get too much further along, what did you say you trained up?
I think you can train up anything, although the primary stats are harder for that. The secondaries like endurance, mana, and stamina seem to train up more easily, though.
I'll vouch for a couple of those. Everyone's stamina and endurance went up while we marched. Well, all of us who spent the day marching, at least. Mana, though?
Logic puzzles, difficult math problems, and that type of thing. I discovered that magic, in the system, is pretty much just a separate division of math. High-level math, but training your mind seems to do okay at boosting your mana.
No, I meant, what does mana do? There are only two of us with things that use it. The Clinicus has some healing spells that use it, and I've got a skill that I can use on others that uses it. For everyone else, it seems to be a useless stat.
Ah, I misunderstood. Did anyone in the book you read cast spells?
Yeah, why?
Because that's what mana is for, Marc said.
Really? You're saying that magic is real now?
Marc nodded. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Here, allow me to demonstrate. Marc quickly cast a Blessing of Strength spell on his father and watched the reaction. Sean seemed to flex a little unconsciously and release a grunt. Check your stats now, Marc said. Oh, assuming you know how, that is.
I did pick up that much from the book, Sean replied, then his eyes went vacant. 3 points of strength? Is that the result of magic?
Yeah, it isn't as flashy, but I've used that one a few times. There are direct damage spells.